small planes can do big things, rewriting the rules of aviation. From the tiny Bumble Bee II, a surprisingly powerful aircraft that set world records despite its miniature size, to the jet-powered Bede BD-5, made famous through thrilling James Bond film sequences. These microplanes challenge every expectation. Today, we uncover the 20 incredible microplanes that prove size doesn't matter. Nissus Gyroplane. When the sky called for a hero, the mini gyro marvel answered. Meet the Nissus Gyroplane, the pint-sized powerhouse from Nissus Aero, Albania's daring aviation innovators who are rewriting the rules of personal flight. The Nissus Gyroplane isn't just small, it's fierce. A flying motorcycle, lightweight, agile, and ready to conquer clouds. Beneath its compact frame pulses a Rotax engine, pushing pilots to a swift and exhilarating 60 miles per hour. Above, twin rotor blades slice through air, creating a seamless dance between rider and wind. Open cockpit? Absolutely. You're not just flying, you're feeling the air, tasting freedom in every gust. Yet this gyro marvel doesn't merely fly, it commands respect. Engineered for ease, even novice pilots step into confidence instantly. Controls feel natural, turning beginners into skywriting pros within moments. It's small, but it's solid, built for tough missions over farmland, daring adventures, or pure, unfiltered excitement. Across the globe, farmers, thrill seekers, and everyday dreamers are awakening to this revolutionary flyer. The Nissus Gyroplane isn't just turning heads, it's flipping skepticism upside down. It proves decisively that big dreams don't need big wings. Bumble Bee II. You think you've seen small planes? Think again. The Bumble Bee II, the smallest piloted aircraft ever built. This isn't a model, it's a real-deal plane that shattered expectations and snagged a Guinness World Record, instantly becoming aviation legend Robert Starr's masterpiece. In 1988, Starr dared the impossible and succeeded, crafting an aircraft barely longer than 8 feet with a wingspan of just over 5.5 feet. This machine didn't just sit pretty, it screamed through the skies at nearly 190 miles per hour, propelled by a gutsy 85 horsepower engine. It might have looked more at home tucked away in a garage, but the Bumble Bee II owned the sky, proving that size had nothing on sheer ambition. On May 8, 1988, Starr himself strapped into the tiny cockpit, defying logic and gravity alike. With fearless precision, he launched this diminutive powerhouse skyward, rewriting what seemed possible. Yet, as swiftly as it soared, danger struck. During testing, the Bumble Bee II crash-landed. Starr walked away unharmed, but the plane's flight days ended abruptly. Still, its groundbreaking achievement remained untouched. Today, decades later, no one has dethroned the Bumble Bee II. It continues to symbolize the thrilling, relentless pursuit of aviation boundaries. It was tiny, true, but its impact was enormous, echoing through history with a legendary legacy. Colomban Cri-Cri. What's smaller than a car, lighter than a motorbike, but packs twice the engine power? The Colomban Cri-Cri, the world's smallest twin-engine aircraft, a marvel proving size has zero say in how epic flight can be. French engineer Michel Colomban unveiled this tiny terror in the early 1970s, crafting a plane barely 12 feet long with a wingspan just under 17 feet. Don't underestimate this pocket rocket. It slices through skies at speeds approaching 140 miles per hour, powered by 2 engines kicking out a gutsy 15 horsepower each. Pilots don't merely fly the Cri-Cri, they ride it, carving through clouds with motorcycle-like agility and precision. But speed isn't its only talent. Efficiency is the Cri-Cri's secret weapon. Pilots glide effortlessly for hours, burning astonishingly little fuel. Weighing in at a feather-light 170 pounds empty, it's practically portable. Friends could lift it by hand, carry it away, and still hardly break a sweat. Since its debut, the Cri-Cri has earned cult-like devotion worldwide. Aviation enthusiasts aren't just flying these planes, they're building them. With DIY kits readily available, dreamers everywhere bring their own Cri-Cris to life, experiencing firsthand the thrill of crafting a personal flying legend. This tiny aircraft doesn't merely push limits, it redefines them entirely. Fast, agile, and absurdly efficient, the Cricree's small frame masks massive capability. The world's smallest twin-engine plane isn't just a curiosity. It's proof that sometimes the greatest power comes from the smallest packages. Bede BD-5. Is there a jet cool enough for the world's greatest secret agent? Absolutely. It's the Bede BD-5, the legendary microjet that captured Hollywood fame and soared into aviation history. Designed by visionary Jim Bede in the early 1970s, the BD-5 shattered expectations as the smallest jet-powered aircraft ever built. Stretching barely 13 feet long with a wingspan of just around 17 feet, this sleek, streamlined marvel wasn't merely compact. It was a rocket in disguise. Pilots didn't simply fly it. They blasted through the skies at a breathtaking 300 miles per hour, turning every flight into a pulse-pounding spectacle. But this tiny aircraft's most unforgettable moment was its cinematic debut in the James Bond classic Octopussy. When Bond needed the ultimate getaway vehicle, the BD-5J answered the call, proving to millions that real spies prefer their planes small, swift, and undeniably stylish. Yet the BD-5 was never just a Hollywood prop. With options ranging from propeller-driven to turbojet engines, every BD-5 became a customized dream, fast, fierce, and unmistakably unique. Production challenges meant fewer BD-5s reached the skies than planned, yet its legacy remained unshakable. Lightweight, powerful, and astonishingly agile, this jet redefined small plane performance, becoming an icon that continues to captivate adrenaline junkies worldwide. Electric airplane Mk4. Nothing says next-level backyard aviation quite like the electric airplane Mk4, a genuinely tiny, battery-powered aircraft you can build from scratch at home. Designed and built by YouTuber Peter Shripol, the electric airplane Mk4 is basically an iconic 90s airplane cartoon come to life. This tiny marvel measures just around 16 feet in wingspan, small enough to easily park in your garage. But don't let its mini size dupe you. This thing really flies. Powered entirely by electric motors and lithium batteries, the Mk4 hits cruising speeds close to 50 miles per hour, making it perfect for short flights and thrilling adventures. Pilots say the ride is super smooth, ultra-quiet, and surprisingly easy to handle. Even beginners can feel like pros piloting this electric dream. Shripol built it using basic materials and everyday parts, proving you don't need fancy tech or huge budgets to get airborne. So, would you hop into an airplane built at home and powered by electricity? Because the electric airplane Mk4 proves once and for all, small, innovative, and electric can totally mean epic. DS-1 Baby Bird. This one changed aviation forever. The Stitz DS-1 Baby Bird. The tiny plane that defied logic, mocked gravity, and showed the world you don't need massive wings to dominate the skies. Built by aviation pioneer Ray Stitz in 1984, the Baby Bird seized the Guinness World Record as the smallest monoplane ever piloted. At just under 11 feet long and a wingspan barely stretching past 6 feet 3 inches, it stood shorter than most compact cars. Somehow, Stitz squeezed himself into a cockpit that seemed impossibly small, launching this miniature aircraft into legendary status. Under the Baby Bird's hood, a modest yet gutsy 55-horsepower engine propelled it forward, hitting an astonishing 110 miles per hour. It wasn't built to shatter speed records. It was built to shatter expectations. Stitz himself piloted it, proving to skeptics everywhere that size isn't everything. Courage counts more. Weighing slightly over 250 pounds, the DS-1 was ultralight, agile, and thrillingly raw. Pilots who took the controls described the experience as strapping into a jetpack with wings, pure adrenaline, stripped down and daring. Yet, the Baby Bird's legacy goes far beyond its size or record-breaking flight. It became a rallying cry, inspiring generations of DIY aviators to build, fly, and dream boldly. Stitz showed that innovation doesn't need jumbo jets or huge budgets, just guts, passion, and ingenuity. Sopwith Camel. Some aircraft become legends, but the Sopwith Camel became immortal. This pint-sized British fighter, unleashed during World War I, proved decisively that victory in the skies didn't require massive wingspan, just courage, agility, and raw nerve. Designed in 1916, the Sopwith Camel quickly emerged as the ultimate dogfighter, downing more enemy planes than any other Allied aircraft during the war. Just 18 feet long and sporting a wingspan under 28 feet, it was deceptively small, yet devastatingly lethal. Its compact frame and rotary engine allowed it to twist, dive, and soar at speeds approaching 115 miles per hour, perfect for tight combat maneuvers that left enemy pilots dizzy and defeated. Yet mastering the Camel was no easy task. Its extraordinary agility came with a catch. Handling could turn treacherous in inexperienced hands. Rookie pilots learned fast that mistakes could flip them upside down or worse. Those who tamed its quirks, however, became flying legends, turning danger into daring, cementing the Camel's fearsome reputation. Beyond the battlefields, the Sopwith Camel soared into pop culture fame when cartoon beagle Snoopy took on the infamous Red Baron, forever embedding this little fighter in our collective imagination. Its legacy far exceeded its modest size, transforming a wartime hero into an enduring icon. Benson B-8 Gyrocopter. Even the bravest pilots paused before strapping themselves into something as wild as the Benson B-8 Gyrocopter, a bare-bones flying contraption that challenged everything the skies knew about flight. Conceived in the 1950s by aviation pioneer Igor Benson, the B-8 was brilliantly simple: an open-air cockpit, one spinning rotor, and a modest engine humming behind you. With no wings, no frills, and absolutely zero barriers between pilot and sky, the B-8 was pure adrenaline wrapped in metal tubing. Its petite 40-horsepower engine delivered a surprising kick, pushing this lightweight wonder to speeds around 60 miles per hour. Agile, responsive, and astonishingly easy to control, the B-8 quickly became the aircraft of choice for adventurous spirits who wanted sky-high excitement without complexity. Piloting one wasn't just flight, it was liberation. But Igor Benson's true genius wasn't just engineering, it was accessibility. He opened aviation's doors wide, designing the B-8 specifically so anyone could build it, fly it, and taste true freedom without breaking the bank or needing professional training. XF-85 Goblin. Although it never saw active duty, the McDonnell XF-85 Goblin secured its legacy as the boldest and most bizarre fighter jet the U.S. Air Force ever attempted. Nicknamed the Flying Egg, this tiny jet challenged everything pilots knew about air combat and pushed aviation creativity to its absolute limits. The Goblin was engineered as a parasite fighter, designed to launch directly from and return mid-air into massive bomber aircraft. Measuring only 14 feet in length with a 21-foot wingspan, this unconventional aircraft was compact enough to nestle perfectly inside its host bomber's bomb bay, hitching a ride before leaping boldly into battle. But beneath its quirky exterior, the Goblin packed fierce power. Its turbojet engine delivered blistering speeds surpassing 650 miles per hour, transforming this diminutive aircraft into a lightning-fast warrior. Pilots who dared fly the Goblin described the experience as exhilarating yet nerve-wracking, particularly the precise and perilous maneuvers needed for mid-air docking. It was precision flying taken to an extreme. Despite its groundbreaking concept, operational challenges ended the Goblin's journey prematurely. The sheer difficulty of safely reconnecting mid-flight kept it from reaching full deployment. Yet, the Goblin became legendary for its daring innovation, symbolizing an era of boundless aviation imagination and audacity. Icarus 451. With twin engines roaring and sleek-swept wings slicing through Eastern European skies, the Icarus 451 wasn't just another jet. It was a Serbian rocket disguised as a micro-sized aircraft, defying convention at every turn. Crafted in Yugoslavia during the 1950s, this daring jet stood just about 23 feet long, wings spanning barely 22 feet. Powered by dual turbo-mecha jet engines, the Icarus 451 streaked through the air at speeds touching an impressive 466 miles per hour, pushing boundaries and testing limits few aircraft of its era dared approach. The pilots fortunate enough to strap into the cockpit described flight as pure exhilaration. The aircraft's nimble handling and exceptional agility made each test flight an adrenaline rush, effortlessly marrying precision and speed. Yet beyond raw performance, the Icarus 451's true genius lay in its pioneering aerodynamic features, particularly its innovative swept-wing design, making it astonishingly efficient and ahead of its time.
And now, it's time for the open discussion.
The world's smallest homemade planes that actually fly are flipping the script on aviation. Just look at this mini warbird tearing down the runway like it's on a mission. Is this guy a genius engineer or just dangerously brave? What powers this pint-sized rocket, and how in the world did it even get off the ground? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to mention #OpenDiscussion. GB. In an era when bigger meant better, this tiny racer shattered expectations, becoming aviation's most daring speed demon. Constructed by the Granville brothers in the early 1930s, the GB measured just under 18 feet long, with a wingspan around 25 feet, no bigger than the average family sedan. However, beneath its compact frame pulsed a ferocious heart, propelling it to astonishing speeds nearing 300 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest aircraft of its day. This miniature marvel wasn't merely fast, it was legendary. Piloted by fearless aviators like Jimmy Doolittle, the GB dominated air races, its bullet-shaped body and short, streamlined wings slicing aggressively through the air. But such power came at a price. Its extreme design meant pilots had little margin for error. Precision was crucial, as even the slightest miscalculation could quickly escalate into disaster. In spite of its notorious handling challenges, the GB Super Sportster became a crowd favorite, thrilling spectators and breaking speed records. Its daring aesthetics and blistering performance perfectly captured the bold spirit of aviation's golden age. Flitzer Z21. What to do when you crave vintage thrills but still want modern muscle? Climb aboard the Flitzer Z21, the tiny British biplane that's reviving the Roaring '20s and turning every weekend pilot into a retro sky racer. Intended in the 1990s by aviation visionary Lynn Williams, the Z21 captures the golden era of flying with authentic style. Stretching barely 16 feet in length and boasting a wingspan just over 18 feet, this miniature marvel channels nostalgia in a sleek, compact frame. Essentially, a throwback to classic aviation that fits neatly in your garage. Propelled by a spirited 65 horsepower engine, the Flitzer cruises effortlessly at around 90 miles per hour, delivering crisp responsiveness and unmatched maneuverability. Pilots describe the experience as exhilarating, whether executing graceful aerobatics or simply savoring the open skies. Its vintage charm paired seamlessly with modern reliability, the ultimate airborne joyride. But the true genius of the Flitzer lies in its accessibility. Offered as a DIY kit, aviation enthusiasts around the globe assemble their own Z21s, crafting personalized retro racers right at home. You don't need advanced mechanical skills, just passion, patience, and a desire to relive aviation's boldest era. Mooney M18 Might. If there ever was a pint-sized plane that delivered massive performance, it's unquestionably the Mooney M18 Might, a sleek, single-seat marvel that shattered aviation conventions and rewrote the rules for compact flight. Crafted by legendary aircraft designer Al Mooney in 1947, the M18 Might stands proudly as one of the smallest certified aircraft ever to conquer the skies, measuring barely 17 feet long with a wingspan just about 26 feet. This miniature masterpiece might appear toy-like at first glance, but dismiss it at your peril. Beneath that compact frame lies genuine aviation prowess. Powered by a modest yet eager 65 horsepower engine, the M18 cruises smoothly at 125 miles per hour, sipping fuel sparingly and flying gracefully. Pilots swear by its effortless handling, nimble agility, and unmatched efficiency, praising it as the perfect commuter craft or weekend escape artist. Yet the Might's true genius isn't merely size or speed, it's innovation. Al Mooney daringly equipped this tiny flyer with groundbreaking features usually reserved for larger aircraft, like retractable landing gear and advanced aerodynamic designs. He boldly challenged the norms, delivering big plane sophistication in a smaller, smarter package. With 283 produced, many Mooney Mights still proudly soar, treasured by collectors and enthusiasts eager to showcase a rare piece of aviation history. At airfields everywhere, the M18 commands respect, not in spite of its size, but because of it. Tipsy Nipper T66. Keep your jumbo jets and oversized aircraft. The Tipsy Nipper T66 proves spectacular moves come in small packages. It is an ultra-compact marvel, measuring just under 15 feet in length with a wingspan barely reaching 20 feet. Yet size is no obstacle here. Beneath its tiny frame lurks genuine aerobatic talent, ready to defy gravity at every turn. Propelled by spirited engines averaging 45 horsepower, this featherweight effortlessly cruises around 100 miles per hour, but its real magic lies in daring aerial maneuvers. Pilots savor its remarkable responsiveness, executing loops, spins, and rolls so smoothly it feels choreographed. In the hands of a skilled pilot, the Nipper doesn't just fly, it performs, carving skybound routines that mesmerize spectators below. Each aircraft became a personalized masterpiece, uniquely tuned to match its owner's flying style. Hundreds have taken to the skies globally, proudly showcasing their tailor-made airborne acrobats. It redefines what tiny planes can achieve, boldly demonstrating that aerobatic greatness doesn't require large wings, just daring pilots and a nimble machine ready to dazzle the world with every breathtaking maneuver. Breezy RLU-1. Now there's flying. And then there's the Breezy RLU-1, the aircraft that strips flight down to its rawest, purest form. Forget windows, doors, even walls. This is aviation unplugged. Nothing but you, wings, an engine, and the endless sky. Built by Carl Unger's radical imagination in the early 1960s, the Breezy RLU-1 is simplicity itself. With a skeletal frame just 23 feet long and wings spanning roughly 33 feet, it's essentially seats bolted to a frame with an engine out back. Pure minimalism in motion. However, this ultralight structure doesn't lack ambition. It's built purely for the unmatched thrill of open-air flight. Powered by modest engines generating around 65 to 90 horsepower, the Breezy glides comfortably at 70 miles per hour. No speed records here, just the unfiltered sensation of flight without barriers. Pilots swear by its exhilarating freedom, describing the Breezy experience like piloting a motorcycle through clouds. Unrestrained, vivid, and genuinely unforgettable. Beyond thrill-seeking, the Breezy also shines in accessibility. In an age of sophisticated technology, the Breezy RLU-1 boldly reminds us that flight's greatest reward isn't speed or luxury, it's freedom. Walls, windows, and windshields? Who needs them when the whole sky is yours for the taking? SA-2A Sky Baby. How small can an aircraft get and still take flight? The Stitz SA-2A Sky Baby answered that question in spectacular style, proving once and for all that greatness doesn't demand wingspan or length, just audacity. In 1952, aviation visionary Ray Stitz challenged every convention, designing and flying the smallest manned airplane ever built. Measuring an astonishingly compact 9 feet 10 inches long, with a wingspan barely exceeding 7 feet, the Sky Baby redefined the limits of what was considered flyable. It wasn't just small, it was breathtakingly tiny, making even compact cars appear massive by comparison. Yet this miniature wonder wasn't merely a spectacle, it was genuinely impressive in the air. Powered by an energetic 85 horsepower engine, the Sky Baby effortlessly reached speeds up to 165 miles per hour, pushing performance boundaries even further. Piloting this aircraft wasn't just about flying, it required nerves of steel to handle something so diminutive at such daring velocities. Though the Sky Baby completed only a few flights, its tiny dimensions made prolonged use impractical. It left an indelible mark on aviation history. More than a novelty, the Sky Baby symbolizes courage, ambition, and the relentless drive to break limits. Hummingbird. We live in a world where bigger often means better, but the Hummingbird turns that idea upside down, proving once and for all that small can soar just as powerfully. Crafted entirely from aluminum, this miniature aircraft isn't just compact, it's revolutionary. Dreamed up by visionary designer Maury Hummel in the 1980s, the Hummingbird measures barely over 13 feet long and features a wingspan of just about 18 feet. It's one of the smallest all-metal aircraft ever created, yet beneath its diminutive exterior pulses the heart of a genuine sky warrior. Powered by an unconventional yet highly effective Volkswagen engine, the Hummingbird cruises comfortably at around 100 miles per hour, sipping fuel slower than a typical motorcycle. Pilots rave about its agile handling, remarkable responsiveness, and pure joy factor, describing flight in this tiny aluminum marvel as piloting a personal rocket ship through the skies. Perhaps its greatest appeal lies in accessibility. Aviation enthusiasts worldwide assemble, the kit-based construction is intuitive enough that even first-time builders confidently piece together their own personal aircraft, bringing aviation dreams vividly to life. Hundreds of these mighty metal birds now buzz happily around the globe, adored for their practicality, performance, and the unmatched thrill of piloting something truly unique. Small as it is, the Hummingbird has rightfully earned its place as an iconic figure among microplanes, forever reminding us that greatness isn't measured in size, but in the incredible adventures you can take when you dare to fly differently. Minimax Aircraft. Just step into your backyard, pick up your tools, and start building. Not a shed, not furniture, but your very own airplane. That's the magic of the Minimax, the legendary aircraft that transforms everyday people into true aviators. Tossed in the 1980s, this compact champion isn't just tiny, it's meticulously crafted to be ultralight, simple, and approachable for everyone. Measuring roughly 16 feet in length and boasting a wingspan of around 25 feet, the Minimax might seem small, but it packs an outsized punch in the skies. Powered typically by modest engines delivering between 28 to 45 horsepower, this lightweight marvel glides gracefully at around 75 miles per hour. Pilots compare flying the Minimax to riding a motorcycle through the sky, agile, responsive, and exhilaratingly direct. Even novices quickly feel confident at the controls, thanks to its intuitive handling and user-friendly design. Yet the Minimax's biggest win isn't its flight characteristics, it's the empowering experience of building it yourself. Sold primarily as straightforward, easy-to-assemble kits, it allows amateur enthusiasts across the globe to craft personalized flying machines from their own garages. Hundreds of these home-built marvels now soar worldwide, each uniquely tailored by their proud creators. Airbike Ultralight. How wild would it be to take the raw thrill of a dirt bike and unleash it thousands of feet above the earth? The Airbike Ultralight doesn't just ask that question, it answers it with every flight, delivering adrenaline-soaked excitement like no other microplane ever built. Since bursting onto the aviation scene in the mid-1990s, the Airbike has shattered expectations about what an aircraft can be. At just around 16 feet long with a 26-foot wingspan, it's compact, open, and astonishingly simple. Driven by a spirited little engine kicking out 28 to 40 horsepower, the Airbike cruises comfortably around 60 miles per hour. Speed isn't its calling card, but raw, unfiltered freedom absolutely is. With its open cockpit and stripped-down design, pilots get unmatched visibility and a visceral sense of flight. It's as if someone strapped wings onto your favorite dirt bike, lifting off into pure exhilaration. Aviation enthusiasts worldwide build their own custom versions, tweaking every detail to create truly personalized flying machines. Hundreds now buzz the skies globally, testament to its unmatched blend of simplicity, adventure, and attitude. Kolb Firestar. Is it possible for a plane to embody the rebellious soul of a hot rod, small, spirited, and built purely for thrills? Absolutely. And it's called the Kolb Firestar, the microplane transforming ordinary flights into extraordinary adventures. Launched by Kolb Aircraft in the mid-1980s, the Firestar proudly flaunts its compact dimensions, measuring approximately 22 feet in length with a wingspan hovering around 27 feet. Yet within its modest frame pulses undeniable excitement, proving that small size can deliver big thrills. Powered typically by engines delivering between 40 and 50 horsepower, the Firestar comfortably cruises around 70 miles per hour. Although it doesn't chase top speed records, pilots treasure it for its razor-sharp responsiveness and playful agility. Flying a Firestar feels more like steering a go-kart through the sky. Fast, intuitive, and refreshingly exhilarating. With hundreds constructed worldwide from user-friendly kits, each Firestar becomes a personalized aerial expression of its owner's taste and spirit. No two are exactly alike, ensuring each flight is as individual as it is unforgettable. Taking off in a Kolb Firestar, with its open cockpit, minimalist design, and raw wind-in-your-face thrill, is aviation stripped back to pure freedom. Small yet fiercely capable, this aircraft boldly demonstrates that the biggest adventures can indeed come in the smallest packages. Which of these tiny flyers amazed you the most? Let us know down in the comments. Hit subscribe and ring the bell for more aviation thrills. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Stay curious and keep exploring the skies.